Okay, so I want to ask you a question.
All right.
What are your thoughts on Meghan Markle?
That is a complicated person.
I feel like people are scared to say they don't like her.
I agree. I'm scared to say I don't like her.
I'm scared to say I don't like her too. Why?
Why is that?
Why is it that we're not allowed to say we don't like her?
Let me tell you, I loved her in Suits. And when she got married, I was just like, yay, for the America.
Happy for her, right? I was so happy for her. Like,
Totally.
Melting cultures is going to be amazing. She turned out to be the biggest asshole to me. I don't know. I just am not impressed, you know?
So from what you know about her, what would you diagnose her with?
I feel like she's like a narcissistic personality disorder. Like and I'm not her doctor, obviously,
Right.
and I don't know her, and I just see what I see, and I read the news, and I see her controlling like behaviors, and it really scares me. I don't know. What do you think? What diagnosis would you put on her?
I think possibly that. It seems like there's something a little inauthentic about her. I honestly couldn't even watch the documentary.
I didn't watch it either.
It was annoying.
Painful. And her I don't like judgy attitude type stuff. So even I'm very nervous about the election coming up because I feel like that makes our country so divided. And I feel like she kind of, in a way, divides the country, kind of similar to an election, you know?
Yeah.
I actually don't know anyone who likes her. Do you?
I feel like I do know people who like her.
I do. And why do they like her?
I guess they say her fashion. I don't know.
I mean, you can like someone's fashion and not like that.
Well, she stood up for what she believes in, what she wants for her family.
But then I listened to Harry the other day, and he said something about the baby. And remember back on that Oprah interview, she said something about them being racist.
Yes.
Like about the baby's color or whatever. And then when he wrote his book recently and now he's talking about things, he was like, no, that's not really what was said. So I'm like, what's real? What's not real? What do you think?
I think that she's calculated and she puts out what she wants.
I feel like it's almost antisocial in a way, you know? Like antisocial personality disorder isn't what you think it is. You know, antisocial personality disorder is what con artists have, is what, prison, people who go to prison for really conning people or hurting people. Antisocial, it's funny because when you think of antisocial, you think of someone who doesn't want to talk to people. That's not what antisocial personality disorder is, right? It's like kind of someone who almost doesn't think, can hurt someone and not think.
And doesn't care.
I feel like that might be her diagnosis. Because does she really care about Harry? Because Harry had to give up his whole family.
I couldn't imagine doing that to someone.
And the title doesn't matter, I don't think. To me, I'm like, I don't think it's the title, but it's your family. It's all you've known, right? I don't know. I see sadness in his eyes. Do you?
I think so. His eyes are very light.
They're just sad, something sad about him. I don't know. I feel like I think he's trying to do good. I really do believe he's trying to do good, but I think he's so almost drugged by her.
I think there's a lot of people in the media that are like that, right?
Yeah.
That are just, they have this, the drugged part.
Just kind of it's so enveloped by her. She kind of rules him without ruling him. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's subtle.
It's subtle, but either you see it or you don't.
Right.
So a lot of people believe in her because she's standing up and she's saying I'm not going to put up with this and I'm not going to curtsy and I'm not going to do that. But see, I'm about tradition, and if curtsy is tradition, just freaking curtsy. Who cares, But then, there's women or men who believe we don't want to do that anymore. Everyone's equal. Everyone is equal, but there's just certain traditions. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I love Britain. I think it's so, I like the way they do things. They don't talk about politics. I think that's really cool.
I mean, you got engaged in Britain.
I know.
So it's got a special place.
It has a very special place to my heart. Yeah. And loved the Queen, loved Diana.
I mean, let me tell you, I'm Indian. The British people did a lot of nasty stuff to India.
That's true.
They took all of our freaking treasures. They hurt people. They called Indian people dirty. I mean, They were really, really mean. Now, do I think the
But you're
people
back on top now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but do you think that I don't think like the people in Britain right now are those people, right?
I see what you're saying.
It is what it is. It was the past. I'm not harping on it, but but at the same time, there's traditions. This curtsying is a tradition. It's not a big deal. You just do it. In India, we namaste to all of our elders and we like bow our head. And I like doing that. I think it's very sweet and endearing. And the other thing we do in India is we touch people's feet. And I can tell you that a lot of people fight against it. I'm pretty sure Meghan Markle would die if she had to touch someone's feet. But I'm all about touching feet because I just think it's sweet and it's showing respect to your elders. And I don't know. It's like the small things in life, you know? What do you think? Do you have anything like you're totally opposed to?
With Meghan?
With Meghan, with people in general, with traditions?
Traditions. Yeah,
you're Italian, so.
Yeah. I think that, we can get caught up in like breaking traditions as like it meaning so much more than like attaching too much meaning.
Too much meaning.
Yeah.
So I think that's how, to me, I think depression, anxiety, those kinds of things can sometimes, and I feel like more people have it now because we attach so much meaning to small things. Like you almost need to let go.
Absolutely.
Let go. It's okay. Like don't overthink things. Look for the positives in life. I think we're so busy trying to find people's faults. And so this conversation started with Meghan Markle and like, what do you think about her? But I feel like my problem with her is she's always looking for faults,
Right.
I feel like we need to be good as a people. I don't know. What do you think? I think that we need to be good as people and stop judging people, kind of meet people where they are, right?
Yeah. I had a patient who going through a really difficult time, family member very sick, and she just said to me, why are people mean? Why do we judge? Why are we so mean to each other when these things are happening? And I think it just, her with the family member really sick put so much things in perspective for her.
Well, and like yesterday I was talking to someone, so I'm going through a divorce and divorce is super hard.
Yeah.
It's like one of the hardest things I've ever, it's a death. It's literally a death. But the person's living and you still care about that person. So you want good for that person, but it can bring out the meanest sides of both people and it can bring out, just the truth in a lot of your friends and family. And you find the most support at that time. Like you find people coming out of the woodworks to support you, but then you have a few people who can be so mean and it just doesn't make sense. And so I was talking to someone yesterday and I was like, I choose to see the good in people. And he was, kind of like, yeah, I guess that's the naive side of us. I was like, no, it's really, there are more good people in the world than bad people. They really are. If you look around, there are more good people than bad people.
Yeah, I think that, we were talking a little bit before the taping about these crazy things that have just been recently happening with people, like the quadruple homicide in Idaho. And like, we have trouble understanding
the negative.
Yeah, like understanding the viewpoint of somebody who would be antisocial or psychopath.
Because it's not normal. It's not normal. It's normal to actually help people, and more people do that. But there are a lot of people who are kind of like, I do think there's, so in my view, there's mental illness and then there's evil, and some people are just evil. And I'm not talking about Meghan Markle at this point,
I agree with that.
But like some of these serial killers, maybe they have some mental illness and maybe they were bullied.
Right.
But how does one person who is bullied and another person who is bullied, one becomes a serial killer and one is helping people? Like it's kind of how you turn it, right? Like you can take your experiences and you make something positive out of it, or you can make it really negative and want to get people back,
What does your culture believe in, like destiny? Like
I think we believe in karma. So we believe that if you, like you should do good and be good and then, you will get good kind of thing. But, if you're bad to people, then it comes around to get you, right? So, I like that. I think I leave it to the beings above or leave it to the universe, right? And I think there's a lot of that. I don't know if anyone's on TikTok, but TikTok teaches me a lot,
Mhm.
you know, from the young
TikTok.
generation. What
It
is
should
it?
be on TikTok.
Oh, TikTok. That's so
DOC.
smart.
I didn't come up with it, but I feel like you'd be a good personality for it.
Oh, I should. I honestly, I learned so much on TikTok.
Me
It's
too.
my favorite thing in the evening to just go through TikTok, and I don't even watch TV anymore because I'm TikToking. But I can tell you that I learn a lot of things. Like the other day, I learned about anxiety, and I am a psychiatrist. So for me to learn about anxiety is kind of funny. You're a therapist. Like this is what we
But
do
they
for a
explain
living.
it so well. Like
They
it will take me an hour to explain anxiety,
or we'll,
and
like,
they
say
do it
some
like
big
that.
words that
Right.
don't mean anything, right?
Mhm.
But like the way they explain, they're like anxiety is an alarm in your body, and like Mel Robbins does this thing where she's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then change your thought,
5 second.
right? And it makes a huge difference. She's like, when you're going through an anxious moment, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then say, what if it actually works out? What if whatever I'm worried about works out? And I remember you saying that to me, you know, because I have a lot of anxiety, and you said, but what if it works out, right?
Yeah, embracing that uncertainty. There's a book, a really good book called Embracing Uncertainty, which I recommend.
And I'm the queen of uncertainty. Like I think that and that's where control comes in. And maybe that's Megan, if you think about it. Like
She has to be in control.
because she's got anxiety, probably.
Ah,
It's like, I'm just thinking, you know,
yeah, no, I know what you mean.
in a full circle, like maybe that's why she is how she is. I don't know. I like to kind of look at people and kind of think, why are they doing what they're doing? Like,
Right. Well,
not
that's looking at the good part of Megan, right? I mean, if she has generalized anxiety disorder, I mean, that's a girl I can hang out with.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So maybe we'll get her, you know? That's so true. But, you know, maybe this is her way. It's like she got married, she had to move into like this monarchy, and, you know, it's so many different rules.
Probably traumatizing.
Very traumatizing. She had to like follow. So maybe there's that side of her. Maybe this is her way of controlling her surroundings again, you know, and not being controlled by her surroundings.
Right. And the monarchy, I mean, I would imagine that is super controlled. Like,
But at the same time, she chose to go in it.
for sure.
Like, you know, you're marrying a prince, right?
Yeah.
There's positives and negatives.
Right.
But then again, people say that about celebrities, right? They say, oh, well, you're a celebrity, so you deserve to be chased by paparazzi. You deserve to be
I don't
treated
think you
that
could ever know, right?
until you're in it,
Yeah.
right?
So even marrying into like maybe like there were things she knew, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you know until you know, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but anyways, I just think that anxiety is one of those things that makes people a little crazy and can make them controlling and, you know, scared. Men and women become really irritable and agitated when they don't have control.
Right. Right.
So,
And then you go into like either adaptive or maladaptive patterns of behavior to
like, what's an example of a maladaptive behavior?
I guess I was thinking in terms of like when we were talking about Meghan Markle being like a narcissist, right, or antisocial or something versus the generalized anxieties, or which you can be both, right? But with someone with generalized anxiety disorder who wants to control a situation, they might notice that manipulating a person to do what they want, like manipulate that person because of your fear. Like,
you know, I feel like I've learned a lot in this discussion because in the beginning when we started I hated Meghan Markle, and I hate saying I hate anyone because I don't hate her. And now I
you want to
find
be her doctor.
now I want to take care of her. Now I want to say, Meghan, I want to help you, you know?
So-called Gupta Psychiatry.
Yes, come to us, because I think that you are having, this is a maladaptive pattern. Yes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We've learned so much this session.
Full circle.
And I feel like we've decided not to judge her. I don't know. I've decided to give her a chance now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I can definitely chill with her now.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't chill that much, but still. But, you know, I think that we have to look at people like that. I think we have to look a little deeper, right?
Yeah. I think that's what psychology too.
This is therapy.
Right?
But this is therapy. Like, I think therapy, people will say, oh, my husband's so irritable. He's agitated. He's an asshole, let's say, right? And
what is he actually doing, and why is he doing that?
Right. And what is sometimes it's, you know, his childhood, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, work stresses, and they come home and they, are just not talkative and don't want to be around you. And,
I think people want to feel safe. They want to protect themselves. They want security. And then they might do things that aren't nice to other people in order to get that.
And I think kids do that too.
Yeah.
Kids, when they don't feel secure, they can become irritable, agitated, or they want control, so they try to act a certain way. They regress, because if you regress or you go back into a younger state, then maybe you'll get taken care of, right?
Yeah.
It's really interesting, though. I don't know. I think, talking about some other people kind of helps you understand even yourself. And I know that sounds like gossipy, but I'm not talking about gossip. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I love talking about celebrities.
Celebrities, you feel like it's not gossip, right? Yeah. Talking about your friends is probably not okay. But talking about celebrities is kind of fun, It's just to understand, because they're out there and their lives are interesting. But, like one person who I have completely seen a different side. I think Kim Kardashian, she's an amazing businesswoman. She's, gorgeous. She's outgoing, obviously, but, she got married. She went through a divorce. And because I've gone through a divorce, my daughter actually pointed out, she sent me some TikToks with her and talking about her divorce and talking about dealing with her ex-husband. And she was like, I think you're a lot like Kim Kardashian. And I was like, thank you. But no. But, she actually said not so much because of looks or whatever. She was talking about, motherhood and talking about dealing with an ex-husband and not talking bad about, you're the father of your children. And even though it's so public for her, she really doesn't talk bad about him.
That's true. Yeah, I think and she's using that as like an example. She's modeling that, whether she even realized it or not, she's modeling it.
And I would say her mother modeled that too, because I never saw her talk bad about her ex-husband, right? Or even her second ex-husband. For someone to be married to someone who eventually becomes transgender,
Right.
That's a lot, right? And she hasn't said one negative thing about him. So, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, that is.
She doesn't, right?
Yeah. I feel like you got some Kim K in you, for sure.
Thank you. I think the positives of it, at least, and I think there's a lot of positives. Like, a lot of these celebrities go through so much. I want to watch the Marilyn Monroe, I think it's called Blonde, on Netflix.
It was awful.
It was awful? Why?
I did not like it.
What happened?
It was so boring.
Really?
Oh my gosh, it was like this. It was like this student movie. It seemed like very artistic, but I don't get that stuff. Also, I should probably preface this with like, my favorite movie is Clueless, like Mean Girls. So like, I don't really have very good taste.
Do you want to hear what happened to me talking about my favorite movie? My favorite movie is Pretty Woman. My favorite scene is like when she's like, when she picks up the bags in Beverly Hills, and because they won't sell.
Big mistake.
Huge, right? That's like every woman knows that if you're of a certain age, right? Well, yesterday or 2 days ago, I went to the mall, and I don't like to go in dressing rooms. It's like a thing I have. So I like to try everything on outside, which I know is crazy, but I do.
No,
I try on. I've even tried a bathing suit on top of my dress. Like, I do what I have to do.
I feel like we've done that in Palm Beach.
Right. It's just because it's just easier. Who wants to go in a dressing room? Like, I just can't do it. It's claustrophobic, whatever. So I tried on this pant, and the lady looked at me and she acted like I was going to steal, and I'm not stealing. Do you know? She was like, cameras are watching. And I was like, okay. And she basically was like, put the stuff down. Okay. So I walked away, and we went in another section, and I swear to God, me and my friends bought the whole section. The whole section. And we weren't planning on it. It was just a really good sale, and we ended up buying all these jackets and whatever and this thing. And so when we walked out, I was like, you know what? I want to do big mistake. But I didn't. But, the thing is, the truth is, people judge you. People do judge by a cover. And so, wow, this is like full circle again. Once again, I was judging Megan, and I am saying sorry for judging.
I'm not.
See, she looks sweet, but she ain't sweet. But anyways, I just think that if you have anxiety, if you feel like you have control issues, we need to look into it, because control issues are like, if you have a family member with control issues, it could very well be an underlying diagnosis of OCD. Right. It could be a diagnosis, and OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder, because people want things a certain way because it reduces their anxiety. A lot of kids, when their parents are going through a divorce, or if they have a change of school, or, they start getting OCD symptoms, it's to control their environment, right? So I think, we just have to look into these things and see why people are agitated, why people are irritable, why people are anxious, or why they're controlling their surroundings, and why they're being a super freak or control freak, and kind of say, okay, let's dig deep, right? And that's where therapy comes in.
Sure. My supervisor always tells me, like, what's the why?
What's the why?
If someone isn't doing well in treatment, why?
I feel like that's the quote for this. What's the why?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
What is the why?
Understanding their intention, understanding where they're coming from.
Intention is huge. Because a lot of times people's intentions aren't bad.
Exactly.
And so you have to look at that and say, okay, their intention's not bad. So what really is the why? Yeah. Well, thanks, guys. We kind of talked about a lot of different things, but the main thing is anxiety, OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder, anger, control. If you are suffering from any of these, or your family's suffering from any of these, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. There's help out there, and we will help you. If you come to our website, we have links to other places.
And we'll put in show notes, embracing uncertainty. And there was something else that you recommended, but we'll put that in there too.
Put them in the show notes. Bye.